Today's video is a recap of the work from home module and a few little sewing disasters. Keep watching. Hi everybody, my name's Sam. Welcome to my channel Frugalisama, where I talk about all things dressmaking. Today's video is a catch-up of everything that I've made in October, and most of it is things that I've made for the work from home module that Whitney at Tomcat Stitchery has been running. Just an update on that. But first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos. If you'd like to subscribe and see more videos like this, I make videos on a Sunday. Usually they will be reviews and plans and fabric hauls and things like that. During the week I'm running a series called 100 Days of Sewing, which is more hints and tips and tricks for anybody who's either new to sewing or wants to save money sewing. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me any comments below. I love reading your comments and having your feedback. If you click the subscription bell, that will notify you when I make new videos. So a quick recap about what the work from home module is, just in case you've not seen either any of my videos or any of Whitney's. And a module is 6 garments, 1 topper, so that could be a cardigan or a coat or a cape or something that goes over the top, a blazer maybe, 3 tops and 2 bottoms, so that's 6 pieces. And the idea is that you're making things in a module so that they all go together, and the work from home part of it is obviously a lot of people are now either working from home. Personally, I've been back at work for a while now, but I do only work part-time, so I work 3 days as a library assistant in a hospital library, and then the rest of the time I'm at home. So I need clothes that are comfortable at home and smart or smartish for work. So that's what I was planning around, is that something that I could wear from either at home or at work. If you watched my autumn plans video, I talked about my actual plans for this module. So the original plans were to make a Callie shirt out of this Liberty type print here, a Melilot out of this other Liberty type print here, and then I was going to toile an ARIELLE skirt out of this gold cord, and then make another ARIELLE out of the denim. I was hoping to get the Threadcount paper bag trousers also out of this denim, but when I toiled the paper bag trousers, I realised that the denim was going to be too bulky at the waist with all those pleats at the waist, and I chatted about that in one of my other videos. I sort of did a bit of a mini review of that thread count pattern. So this is the pattern, and those are the trousers, and I made size 14 I think in the end. So that's the ones that I went for, not the wide leg ones. So they are ever so slightly cropped and quite high-waisted, and what I did was I reduced that paper bag bit so that the waist finished at where the pleats are. And then I was going to make a plantain t-shirt, and I was undecided on what topper to make, but I did discuss a couple of options that I had, one being the Sienna maker jacket from Closet Core Patterns. But what I really wanted was a cardigan, really, just to keep in with the work from home, and I didn't really have time to make a jacket. So I've got the Sienna maker jacket printed off, and I've got the fabric for it, and that will be made sometime over the course of the next few months or so. My plans changed a little bit, as they do. I mean, that's the nature of a module, is seeing how things go together. Not vastly, but I made the Melilot, I made the plantain, I made the ARIELLE, and I made the paper bag waist trousers. The thing that changed was that I didn't make the Callie. Now I'm going to make the Callie in that fabric. I'm going to make a long one. I can wear it with the topper, but it's going to be like a standalone piece. So instead I made 2 ARIELLEs, the Threadcount paper bag trousers, 2 Pussybow blouses. I made the plantain, and I made the Aster from Seamwork, and then I took this McCalls pattern, which is a dress pattern, and made a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt with a v-neck, because I felt that I needed something reasonably fitted and v-necked to also go with the bottoms that I'd made. And then finally I made a Harper cardigan, which was a suggestion by Jack Pot, somebody who'd watched the video, and that was perfect for the cloak fabric that I had. So if you saw my September makes video, I chatted about the two pieces bottoms that I'd made, and the trouble that I was having finding tops to go with the paperback waist trousers from Threadcount and the ARIELLE skirt that I'd made. And really what I was finding, that a Calais wouldn't really have fitted in with those two bottoms. So I've changed my plans a little bit, and instead I've made this Pussybow blouse. I'll insert some pictures of me standing up in it, wearing it with everything, but let's just see if we can show you. So this is the Sew Over It. It's another pattern that my friend Karen gave me, and I made this view here. So there's two views. One's got a higher neck and one's got the lower neck. It's version 2. This fabric came from Minerva. I chatted about it in my fabric haul video, my last fabric haul video. It was described as a microfiber crepe, and it was described as a medium weight. So when I ordered it, I ordered 2 meters of it with a view to making a dress. But when I got it, I felt it was really too lightweight to make a dress, that it would cling to tights and things. But as a blouse, it's absolutely perfect for it. So when Karen gave me the pattern, it had already been cut as a size 12. So I thought I'd better twirl it just in case it was going to be a little bit tight. It's size 12 is a 37-inch bust, which is my bust size, but the waist was a 30-inch waist, and I'm more like a 32 to 33 now, and the hip is size 40. I think I'm 41-inch with hips. It's reasonably fitted, but not through the waist, so I thought I could get away with it, but I thought I'd better twirl it first. So I've twirled it in this fabric that I got from B&M Fabrics maybe two years ago, and this is also very similar, feels very similar to the crepe that I'm wearing, but it's got ever so slightly a bit of stretch in it. So when I say I twirled it, I mean it was a wearable twirl. I'd always intended on being able to wear it. The only danger was that it was going to turn out a little bit too small. So the features of this is you've got your V-neck, you've got your long pussy bows here, quite unfitted through the body, and then long sleeves with a cuff and a button. Actually a very, very simple make. The hardest bit really is getting the pussy bow on even at the neck line here, and that's not particularly difficult, so quite a simple make really. So I made that as a twirl, and then I made it up in the Minerva fabric. I absolutely love this. It's really comfortable and smart. Goes really well with the paperback trousers that I made, and it goes well with the denim ARIELLE, and it's got little flecks of yellow in, so it goes with the old gold ARIELLE as well. So I will insert pictures of me wearing them all together, I think, so that you can see how well they go together. So instead of having 2 bottoms and 3 tops and 1 topper, I've ended up making 3 bottoms, 6 tops and a topper. Almost 2 modules really. If I'd made another bottoms, it would have been another topper, then I would have had just about two modules. But it's all been sort of trial and error, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, apart from the McCalls, where I was just in a bit of a sewing funk, if you like. So I've already reviewed the Melilot and the Plantain and the paperback trousers and the one of the ARIELLE skirts in a previous video, so I'll put a link to that at the end, and you can see the sort of mini reviews of those. So the new ones really are the Pussybow blouse that I'm wearing. Like I say, that came together really well, and I'd already twirled it, so I knew that this one would fit, that I got from Minerva. The fabric was really quite nice to work with as well, so, and it just feels really nice and comfortable on. The only thing I would say is this one feels ever so slightly tighter across my back than the original one, and that's probably because the one that I twirled has got that extra little bit of stretch in it, but not to the point of it being uncomfortable. And that's one of the things that I was going to talk about as well today, is sewing perfection. You know, not everything does go right. Things do go wrong, and I just seem to have had a bit of a sewing funk this month. So with the Melilot shirt, I'd already made a cap-sleeved version of the Melilot shirt and wanted a long sleeve version, and I chatted about what happened with the sleeves on one of my other videos, and essentially I have to wear the sleeves rolled up because it's probably about 2 inches too short on the sleeves. Now there's no sleeve measurements on the Melilot shirt, so I had no way of checking whether they were going to be long enough. With it being a dropped sleeve, you can see here that it's like normally a sleeve would finish here at the end of the shoulder. It's a drop sleeve, so it's quite difficult to gauge just by measuring the pattern pieces just exactly how long the sleeves are going to end up. So it were a bit my own silly fault really. I should have double checked. I am long in the arm, and so that is something that I should know to check. But you make these mistakes, and I don't mind it rolled up. You can't put the topper on with them rolled up, but that's okay. And then the plantain. So I went a little bit mad with the overlocker, and can you see there? So that's the needle that's gone through. It's kind of doubled up as I've inserted the sleeve. So I've just put a little bit of interfacing in there to stop it from running any further. Again, it's under my arm. It's not the end of the world. There's nothing that can't really be made right with sewing. It's, you know, I could take the sleeves off and reinsert them with the Melilot, but I honestly can't be bothered. It's fine. You know, it's not the end of the world. With the ARIELLE shirt, one of the ARIELLE skirts, I went again mad with a seam ripper. It's the one that I'm wearing actually, and I always do my buttonholes with a seam ripper. I've got one of those buttonhole chisels. I just can't get on with it. Seems like a lot of hard work. So I slipped ever so slightly with a seam ripper. I fixed it, but it's just one of those things. This Pussybow blouse, I was getting dressed for work last week, saw a bit of thread hanging off, went to cut it off with my snips and cut the tiniest of little holes at the top, which you can't see, but you know, it's just one of those things. But the biggest rookie error I made was when I was making this McCalls top. But it started off basically that I thought this was white when I was buying it, and it's pale blue, which actually it's absolutely fine. The plantain's white, so it makes it a bit more varied to have a different colour. So it started with that. When I was cutting it out, I then managed to cut it out cross-grained. I have no idea. I've never done that before. I've no idea how I did it. You can probably just about see that it's going across the grain there, which means that it stretches in the wrong direction. So instead of it stretching across my bust, it's stretching lengthwise, which is not ideal. Now, again, it is actually fine, except that what I thought is, rather than sew it at 5/8 of an inch, because the stretch is going in the wrong direction, I'll just sew it at 1/4 of an inch. So my sleeves are a little bit on the wide side, and I'm going to go back in and just bring it in at the sleeves, because what I didn't want to do is, because it has with anything stretched, it usually has a negative ease, and I didn't want to sew it at the 5/8 of an inch and then find that I couldn't breathe in it, but there's actually lots of room. So the next thing I did then, after cutting it the wrong way round, is I put a bit of interfacing in the shoulder seams to give it stability. Sewed the shoulder seams together, right sides together, and found that I'd actually stuck the interfacing on the right side of the fabric, so it was poking through because I was doing it at a 1/4 of an inch rather than the 5/8. So I went back, I sewed it at 5/8 of an inch at the shoulder seam, and it worked out okay. It just meant that the stability that I put in was all cut out, so that was that. And then when I came to twin needle it, my right needle of my twin needle just wasn't having it at all. So it was it's a newish twin needle, so it can't be that I need a new needle. I tried all the different tensions, I tried everything, nothing was working. So I ended up doing a zigzag, which I couldn't find a perfect match on the colour. And I know some people do use a zigzag and don't use a twin needle, but it's not my preferred method. And then I forgot about this, the insertion of the V-neck. I could not fathom that out. I could not fathom how that V-neck was supposed to go in by those instructions, so I had to unpick it. I only unpicked this bit where the V was, because by then, quite honestly, I could have just thrown it in the bin. I unpicked the V-neck, found a video by Melilot, and did it her way rather than the way that they were trying to tell me on the pattern instructions. I'll show you the pattern instructions actually, because I've inserted V-necks before, but I don't know what was going on yesterday, but I wasn't feeling it. So that's your instructions for inserting the V-neck. It's starts there with folding it in half, basting it, and then those little instructions there. I cocked it up basically. So the long and short of it is, I've actually got something that I can wear despite all those trials and tribulations. I can still wear it. I've worn it this morning to walk the dog in. I am going to, having worn it, I am going to go in and make these sleeves a little bit narrower. And I have got a little bit of fabric, of this fabric left. I haven't got quite enough to make another one of these, but I might get an Edie top out of it or something like that. So all's well that ends well. But I thought I'd just share that little story with you because, you know, I have been sewing a long time, but I still make mistakes. My mind just... I just wasn't on it. My mind wasn't on it yesterday. I've had a really sort of bad couple of weeks, really, mentally. So, and yesterday I think it just all came to a head. I'm absolutely fine, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? So that's the McCalls M6/886. Made it before, so I knew that the size that I'd picked was okay. I've made the dress version of it before, so you know, things happen, don't they? It happens to the best of us. So that's the Pussybow blouse, the McCalls, and then finally I made a little Aster. The Aster's been on my sewing horizon for quite a while. I had it when I had all that printing done by Print 24. I had this printed off as well. And this daisy fabric is one of the first fabrics that I bought when I got back into sewing, and I made another Seamwork top, the Sorbetto, out of it. And if you look at the state of the sewing on it, then I'd never done bias binding before, although I've been sewing for 30 odd years. When I came back into sewing, there was lots of different techniques and things that I'd never done. So still had enough left to to get this Aster out. The only thing I didn't have enough of was to do this yoke piece, which actually I think works out okay, because from the outside, with this being such a light cotton voile, if I'd have used the same print, you'd have been able to see through it and it'd have fought with it, so it works okay. And it's more of a spring top, I would have said this, but that's okay as well, isn't it? Goes quite nicely with both Arielles actually, despite having the buttons down the front, because I've used a clear button. They're not too conspicuous. So the Aster is available with the Seamwork subscriptions now. It was a collect one, but it's available now through Seamwork, and it's just a collarless blouse and with a yoke at the back, and it's got 3 sleeve options, so I've gone for the shorts. I was limited on fabric because it was just left over from a previous project, and this is just a wearable toile. So I went for the short cuffed version, short sleeve cuff version, because that's all I had enough fabric for. There is a flutter sleeve version and a long sleeve version as well. So you've got just the buttons down the front, little button placket, and then it's finished around the edges with I've just done a self-made binding around the neckline. Quite simple to make. I made a size 8, which fit in quite nice, and it's got a box pleat at the back as well. So yeah, I made it as a wearable toile, but it goes perfectly with the yellow Arielle skirt, and it goes well with the rest of the module as well. But like I say, it's more of a spring make, and it is actually, looking back at the videos of me wearing it, it is actually quite see-through. So I'm going to have to wear a vest or a cami top, whatever. But yeah, I made it as just to see how it would fit in with the module, and I think it does, and it would certainly be a very nice work blouse for any of my other work outfits. It does have a variation where there's some pleat details across the front bodice there, which is really nice. And I've got some white viscose fabric, which I think would make a nice long sleeved version of it as well. I think, you know, long sleeve white blouse, it'll go with anything, won't it? So that's the Aster, and what really tickled me is these are little daisies, and daisies are part of the Aster family. I didn't know that when I was making it. I did know that they were Asters, but I wasn't being clever. It didn't click that's what I was doing. But it tickled me when I realised. So I really like the blouse, and I will wear it a lot more actually than what I probably wore the sorbetto that I made originally. That was something that I made early doors, and it got quite a bit of wear to start off with, and then your skills progress, and it just looked a bit naff after a while. The bust darts were in the wrong place and what have you, and it was made before I actually got a serger, so it's not serged on the inside. I think it's just pinked on the inside, and it's long gone as that now. So onto the Harper cardigan by Sinclair Patterns. So I'd put a call out for any suggestions for if anybody knew of a cardigan pattern. I found the Aspen cardigan, which I'll put an insert picture of, which was a free cardigan pattern, but it had like a peplum to it, and I didn't think it would fit with the fabric that I was using, and I didn't really want any more bulk there. It'd be okay if I was wearing something like skinny jeans or something like that, but I didn't want that extra bulk there. And somebody suggested this Harper cardigan that would go really well with this cable knit that I've got, and I was looking for something along the lines of the Blackwood, and it's very, very similar. I found that Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door has done a sew along for it, so I didn't really actually look at the instructions too closely. I read them, and then I followed Andrea's sew along really. I made the decision not to put the pockets on. I may go back in and rectify that, just because I thought again it might end up being a bit too clunky, and I made it all up on the overlocker actually, as I did with the McCalls top, The only thing that I based it in was it's got a band all the way around the front and back, and then at the bottom, and I've just run that bottom one in a different direction just for a bit of added interest, and on the sleeves as well. And the beauty of this pattern is that it's drafted in 3 heights, so you've got heights if you like, so you've got petite, medium and tall. I'm 5'8" and I went for the tall. I think it was said between 5'7" and 10 or something like that. So I went for the tall. A lot of people draft for the different bust sizes, but not many people draft for different heights, so it means you're not having to add any length into it, which is something that I frequently have to do, depending on what it is. But yeah, I really, really like it. I'll bob it on. I've got the ARIELLE on and the Pussybow blouse at the moment, but hopefully you can see it. Let's stand a bit further back. It also comes in, I think it's 4 different lengths. So I think you've got a cropped, a regular one which will stop at your hips, this long line one which stops just perfectly at the bottom of this ARIELLE skirt, and then there's a duster version as well, and the duster version doesn't have the band at the bottom. And I only had a 1.5 meters of this fabric because it was on the pricey side. I bought this from My Fabrics, and I think I paid around about £22 for a 1.5 meters. That included the postage, and there was a little bit of a discount. I think I found an online discount for it or something. I think you get 15% off your first purchase or something like that. But yeah, it's lovely and soft and snuggly, so it's perfect for the work from home idea, and goes really well with all the other things that I've made for it. So really pleased with this one. I'm not going to do a full review of it because I think Claire at Penguin and Pear's done a full review of it, and I know that Andrea Beyond the Pink Door, she has made quite a few and done a sew along for it, but I highly recommend this. It pulls across. There's no buttons on it. There's no reason why you couldn't put buttons on it, but like I say, I'm a 37-inch bust, and it's not oversized. It's just a nice slim fitting, and the size range is, I'll put the size range on, I can't remember. So thank you to Jack Pot for suggesting this cardigan. It's perfect, you were right. And for anybody else's suggestions as well, I really appreciate people pitching in and making suggestions. It's been really interesting exercise. I did do one of these modules in spring, and I've worn all the pieces quite a lot. And what's been really nice is quite a lot of the pieces, I can wear quite a lot of the pieces with what I've got here. So I made a toaster, a red toaster sweater. I had that on yesterday with the ARIELLE skirt, and the Parker, Style Art Parker coat. The Parker coat's a teal green, which goes really well with everything that I've made as well. So everything's interchangeable, and I will, at the end, I'll just put a video clip of me wearing them all together. So I've got lots of different pieces that I think work well together. I've managed to sort of try them on with other things and see what else they fit in with my wardrobe as well, which I covered in one of my previous videos. Okay, that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this little video and following me along with the process of it all and the ins and outs and the little mishaps, shall we say, that I've had with some of the pieces. But you know, it happens, and I'd hate for people to think that everything goes perfectly for anybody who's got a YouTube channel. I mean, it doesn't. We all have disasters. None of us are experts. I don't think. It's just one of those things, and it might brighten your day by seeing my little disasters. I also forget to mention about Instagram. I am Frugalisama on Instagram. I also write a blog post, also at Frugalisama. So if you want to come and follow me, I often post photographs up before I've made a video, and can chat there as well. And that's it, I think. I will speak to you later. Bye.